Well, howdy folks. Welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. I'm in the high tunnel again and doing some gardening. Today I wanted to show you my different lettuces, how well they're performing, and also how I chose what I chose. Which seeds should you use for your lettuce? Can't tell you that, but I can tell you the criteria I used to choose mine, and I can show you how well it's doing. So we're going to get into that in a moment. I'm going to show you the rest of the garden also. Got a lot of stuff that's growing really well in here, and this is early on. We're on the August. What did I say? August. I'm losing my mind. It's April 30th on Sunday. Wow. See, you get older and it just goes away. They call that, what, senile dementia? I don't know. Garden's looking beautiful. Kohlrabi's starting to bulb. And I'm really looking forward to showing you all of what I have here. There's some beautiful plants, beautiful food, and I'm already eating from my garden. I've been using it a lot. It's tasty. So let's get into this. Oh, there we go. Just plucking a few weeds. Whenever I see them, I like to just catch them while they're young. They're real easy to get out at that point. Oh, by the way, welcome back to my garden. This is Texas Cooking Today. This is our garden, and I thought I would invite you in to show you my lettuce. This is April 30th. It's Sunday, and it's in the morning, so the sun is behind me, and I have a little bit of a shade here because the door of my high tunnel gives a shadow onto this walkway right behind me, so I'm partially protected from some sun right now. Otherwise, this thing heats up really fast, so I thought I'd do it in the morning. Get out here. I wanted to talk to you about my lettuce. I've got 3 different kinds of lettuce growing here. That light green colored one, that is called Muir. This one right here is called Cherokee. These don't look too thick, and that's because I have picked a lot of leaves out of them. And then this over here, this one hasn't had any leaves taken from it, so that's a full one right there. And this one's mostly full. I've had a couple of leaves from it. I picked a lot of leaves out of this and a few out of that. So it shows you, even while taking leaves for salads, these are doing beautiful. And I like doing it that way. I don't like to just take the whole head. Why? If all I need are, a few of these leaves to make a single salad. Well, it doesn't take the whole head, and the whole head doesn't need to sit in the fridge being useless. This way it keeps growing and developing, and it makes it something special. And later on, when I need to replace the heads, I'll simply pull the head, use it up in the kitchen, and then plant a fresh one right after that. These are varieties of lettuce that I chose because of their heat tolerance. When I first started trying to grow lettuce in Texas, I never really had much success. There's a few types of lettuces here that will do well outdoors here, but only in the right season. Okay, like you can get romaine to grow and you can get green leaf to grow, but they really need to be done in the spring or the fall. The minute summer hits, forget it. It's going to bolt right then and there. So that's what happens with our lettuce. So anyway, I decided to go to Johnny's Seed, and that's a company. They're not paying me anything for this, okay? So let me say it up front. It's just a company I like to buy seeds from, and they have a lot of help when it comes to choosing the right seed for where you're at. And for your uses. Now my use was, I knew I had a situation where my lettuce was constantly bolting, and and that's where it goes to shooting up real fast, and it produces seed, and that comes from excessive heat, which, boy, in zone 7A we've got excessive heat. It goes from like 20 degrees to 110 in one day. No, I'm not exaggerating. This place is crazy that way, and it's one of the reasons it makes growing in zone 7A so challenging. And getting lettuce to grow in 7A, good luck. But anyway, here we have it. Good growing lettuce. Now I chose 3 varieties that were heat tolerant, chose them from Johnny's Seed. That's Muir, This one is Cherokee, and this one is called Fusion. Now, Fusion is a cross between romaine and greenleaf, and those are my two favorite lettuces, and I was hoping I would get something I'd really enjoy with it, and sure enough, it's perfect. It's absolutely what I want from lettuce. A good, firm leaf. The plant is real firm. I could set my coffee on this and it would hold it up, all right? It's that firm. And so these are really nice. This is a little bit softer leaf, but it is the firmest red leaf that I've ever seen. You know, usually red leaf lettuce is very soft and well, I've got some right here that's a good example. It's just really, a lot of red leaf lettuce is very soft and it doesn't hold up well, okay? And if you leave it sitting out, that will wilt in 30 minutes, okay? So that's sort of a problem with red leaf lettuce. Yet the Cherokee is opposite of that. It's good, sturdy, firm leaf, a little bit green towards the center in the base. That's normal. And the leaves turn a beautiful crimson red. I mean, they are beautiful, deep, dark red. The Cherokee down there has a ruffled edge on the leaf that still has big leaves, but they're softer leaves like you would get with a red leaf lettuce. Now, after having tried all three of these, hoping I would get, you know, at least two of them that would perform well, I thought the two that would perform the best would be the Muir down there and this right here, the Fusion, and the Cherokee might have trouble. But it turned out to be a little different. I'm not getting as good a germination as I want with the Muir. I am not getting as big of a plant or as firm a leaves or any of that. So what I'm going to do is from now on, I'm going to stick to these two varieties because they do well here. And this is part of, you know, going through the process of, if you grow something and it doesn't grow well, it doesn't mean that you're not any good at growing it. It just may mean that you got the wrong seed. All right? So that's sort of the idea behind this little lesson today, is what you're going to get from different lettuce seeds. Now, I was looking at Johnny's Seed this morning, and I was just looking at a catalog they send out. I wasn't online. But I was stunned at how many different varieties of lettuce there were. All kinds of different types of lettuce that you really, if you're interested in that kind of thing, or in leafy greens or microgreens, you're going to be shocked at what all they carry, and you'll be surprised at, they're going to likely have a perfect seed for you for where you live, for your growing conditions. These two lettuces may not do very well where you're at, but here they're doing great. And so I'm going to stick with Fusion, which is it's a seed that I got from Johnny's. All of these seeds came from Johnny's, by the way. And this one is Cherokee. I'm going to stick with the Cherokee lettuce. A, it tastes really good, and B, it grows really well. I'm shocked. Here you can kind of see down inside of one where I picked some leaves out here. See how it's green down in there? Whoops, I just broke a leaf. It doesn't matter. There we go. Let me pull him out. There we are. Now that is what I'm talking about. This is fantastic lettuce right here, folks. Beautiful, solid leaves that, man, all I have to do is just give them a gentle rinse, put them in my salad spinner, clean them up, and boom, suddenly I've got perfect lettuce. And these leaves are fantastic. So that's what I do, is I just come out and I'll harvest, 4 or 5 of these, and that's a complete salad. And I'll mix it up. Great way of doing stuff, folks. So consider that. I've got a lot of other stuff going on out here, and we're going to take a look at that here in a second. Behind me, I have some of the Fusion lettuce that has grown over the winter, and I've allowed it to just kind of grow and get big and develop to see what it actually becomes. So I want, I can do that sometimes. I just experiment with this one plant. We'll let it grow, see what its life cycle turns into. And I gain a lot from that experience. I recommend, if you've never tried that and you're into gardening, give it a shot. You may be surprised at what you find out. Got my new carrot bed planted. Big carrots coming out of the bed to my right here, and I've got some strawberries in now. The asparagus is shooting up, regular asparagus. So we have asparagus, frequently now. And the nice thing is I'm not paying a dime for asparagus, where it used to be I spent a lot. So money saved through just a simple garden, and that asparagus will be in there for the next 10 years producing beautiful asparagus spears for me. I will, from time to time, replace rhizomes as needed, and it'll be just my asparagus bed ongoing. I'm going to get some more asparagus. I'm looking for a red variety that will do well in zone 7A. Hope I find one that works. The one I have in, fortunately, it's producing. My kohlrabi is starting to bulb. Tell you what, let's take a look around the garden. Right here, I have a couple of radicchios that are coming along. I have never grown radicchio before, and I wanted to give it a try. So that's what we have here. And it looks like I've got something that's leaving some sort of tracks in the ground. So I need to poke around and see if anything's happening there that I'm unaware of. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't hurt to look at the bottoms of leaves. You'll find critters and pests that you didn't know you had. All right, remember what I said about those weeds? You just get them when you see them. There they are, little bitty babies. Easy to take care of. All right, so my chicory coming along. There was a third one that I had planted here, and apparently didn't get germination on it. But, you know, people say growing this is really difficult to do. I don't know. I'm going to do my best, and we'll see if it gives me a head. All right, and of course my lettuce over here, all around the high tunnel. All of the garlic is just doing fantastic, and my oregano right over there, it has done well through the winter. I just covered it with one of those little jugs on the colder days, and now it's just doing great. So remember that little trick using those jugs? You saw those on the last video, and I'm going to show them to you again because I'm still using them in a couple of spots. So here I've got some beautiful purple blooms on my chives. They're doing great. I've got some blooms right here on my tomato plant. There's been a few others, and you can just take those and hit them when you see them. Don't be gentle about it. You can be rough with those tomato plants, and it's actually beneficial to them. Okay, so I'm getting some flowering, not a lot. I'm not worried about flowering right now. I'm worried about development of the bush, okay, and that's what I'm focused on. I want that bush up to about here, to this rung, nice and full, and then I'm going to force flowering, and we're going to end up with a whole load of tomatoes, a lot of them. Now back here, you see one of these jugs I was talking about? The jug is over a different kind of tomato. It's a San Marzano tomato I started from seed, where I bought these at the greenhouse. Now the seeds they're doing well. They're in there. They're about 2 inches tall now, maybe 3 inches tall, and they're very healthy. But that's the reason I grow them in there. It acts like a little terrarium, and they do very well. Again, the garlic all the way around, doing healthy and full. All right. Now, as I mentioned before, I was going to show you that one fusion lettuce that I allowed to grow, and that's right here. It has gotten big, big, big. So I wanted to see where it kind of fills out to. And this one produced offshoots from the sides through the winter, so it kind of turned into a huge thing. Still produces good tasting leaves. The leaves don't taste any different from the other ones. So even if it does go big like this on you, hey, you still got good lettuce to use. This is that other lettuce I was telling you about, the red leaf lettuce that didn't do well here. It grows well over winter, but in the summer this just did not perform, so I replaced it with a Cherokee. And besides, I really didn't like the softer leaf this has. And behind here are carrots. Yeah, we've got beautiful carrots. Those are Bolero carrots. That's the variant that I got, and it's, again, from Johnny's Seed. It produces a little stalkier carrot, and in the firmer soil we have, I felt that would do better, and sure enough, I'm getting good results from that. Well, over here I've got fennel that did well over winter, and it's teaching me a lesson. Certain plants in this zone, I'm going to do better starting them in the fall and growing them through the winter and into the spring. Fennel might be one of those. Fennel might be something that I plant like in December. You know, I'll be planting some cabbage and some broccoli next fall, October. I want to get stuff in so that through the winter I'm producing. So I've learned this high tunnel, oh boy does it produce. Now over here, yeah, I'm still pulling out beautiful spears. And you see some of these I've allowed to fern, the small thin ones. But down here like this one, big thick asparagus stalk right here also. And behind me here. So they're coming up regularly. This one's kind of sort of a medium thickness, but not firm enough yet. Behind him here, this same rhizome that I'm allowing to fern in a little bit is energizing, and I'm getting a little thicker stalks here and there on it. So sometimes we do it that way. I've also got some thyme growing here, and it's bushy and wonderful looking. And behind me, I put in strawberries. Now I mentioned in a previous video that I'm wanting to get as many perennials in here as I can get. So behind me I got the asparagus, that's perennial. Here I have strawberries, they're a perennial. And I'm going to just start filling from this back corner that way with perennials and get this sort of back corner a kind of a perennial corner, you could say. And that way it's just constantly producing for me, and I don't have to nurture it as much, you could say. So it's just a matter of water, feed, keep the weeds out, and enjoy what it gives you. That's what I'm doing here. All right, so the strawberries, and I do have strawberries on plant, several of them here, and they're looking really nice. I wasn't really intending to get any strawberries this year. I just wanted to get the plants in, growing, and established and developed. When I do a perennial that's a fruit or a vegetable, I don't really expect anything on the first year. I'm just looking to get the plant established. Like asparagus, if you'll give it 2 years, and I'm talking about from seed, you plant your seed, you grow it up, don't harvest anything the first or second year. Allow that rhizome to develop and get hardy and strong. Allow him to take over his bed, and it'll produce really good asparagus for you, just like what I'm getting now. Now over here, I have coming up, and we'll take a look at it. I've got my leeks are coming up. I've got some broccoli started, don't know what it's going to do. And then the kohlrabi looks like it is starting to bulb up. So again, broccoli, cabbage, that stuff will be planted again in the fall, and that's going to be my serious concerted effort to growing that. And I've got some New Zealand spinach. I don't normally do New Zealand spinach, but I wanted to try it because it's supposed to be heat tolerant. And of course, what do we have here? Too much heat. Now right in front of me, there's nothing growing. The bed that I've prepared for my carrots is already planted. I'm just waiting for the shoots to come up and to catch any weeds before then. So that's all there is there. That's about it in the high tunnel, other than what I'm about to show you here. And thank you very much for watching. Do me a favor, click the subscribe button. Also, if you would, click that like button and drop a comment. I love reading those comments. Thank you for joining me in my high tunnel. This is quite the experience. It's been a fun learning experience for me. And as I mentioned to you before, the little jugs that you can put over plants, you take something like this. This was from apple juice, all right? All I did was just cut the bottom off. I saved the cap. If it's really cold, you can put the cap on it. It helps hold in heat. If it isn't that cold, you just want to use it like a terrarium, keep the cap off. And it does a beautiful job of protecting your plants and allowing them to become hardier and to grow a lot faster. This is one of the best ways I have found to starting new plants. There you go. That's a nice close-up of that asparagus I was talking about. You can see where it's really going on there. And of course, we come around over this way. Right down there, there's the strawberries. Pardon my focus and jerkiness of the camera there. Now, when we come around over here, you'll see we've got in the foreground there, those are some little broccoli plants, and behind it are the groupings of leaves coming up. Those are shallots, and behind that some garlic. And then right down over here, we have the kohlrabi that I mentioned was starting to bulb, and that is looking really good. That's that larger leaf that's in the background, and then the smaller leaves right down here in the foreground is that New Zealand spinach. Again, spinach is not something that grows great here. You can get it to grow, but it takes work. There's the Muir lettuce right next to it. You see the Cherokee lettuce there, nice and close. And then right over there, the fusion lettuce. Those nice firm leaves, and I really recommend those if you've got a hot climate. They work really, really well, as you're seeing. All right, so there it is. The high tunnel is coming along really nice.